everyone, Ann Wyatt here, Vice President of Client Success for HealthFitness. Welcome to the HealthFitness Podcast. Welcome back to the HealthFitness Podcast. Today's workplace fitness and wellness spaces, they're not just nice to have anymore, and honestly, they haven't been for a while. The days of measuring success by square footage or how much equipment you can squeeze into a room, they are over. So now, it's all about experience. So we're talking intentional design, smart layout, programming that's going to make sure it meets people where they actually are, and creating spaces that don't just exist, but they truly engage people. So in this episode, we're going to dive into fitness center design and how it's evolving and what that means for organizations that want to boost engagement, they want to increase utilization, or maybe they just want to see real measurable impact. I couldn't think of a better person to have this discussion with today. Joining me is John Ruyak. John is Senior Director of Design for HealthFitness, and he has tons of experience that we get to leverage today. He leads innovative, high-impact design initiatives all across the country for HealthFitness, and he brings about 4 decades of experience to the table. Not to mention, you also have a lot of operations experience, which is also really important. But I think the one thing, John, that's most important for people to know is you're not just designing spaces, you're helping shape how people experience wellness at work. So let's dive into it. Welcome to the Health Fitness Podcast.
Thank you, Ann.
I'm going to throw you a little of a softball, I think, to begin, but I just want to take us back a little bit and let's talk about what did fitness design look like, maybe even pre-COVID? What were the features that mattered most back then?
Back then, it was boring. We had rectangular spaces. Yeah, we had rectangular spaces that were siloed, were separated. When you walked into the fitness center, there might have been a cardio room. There might have been a separate strength room.
Right.
The workouts were very task-oriented. People came in, they put headphones on, they got on the treadmill for 30 minutes, and they didn't interact a lot. There wasn't a lot of engagement. And it wasn't really part of their lifestyle. We saw very little programming, very little group exercise and small group training. And the wellness aspects, recovery and functional training, it's really nutrition. They really weren't part of the equation inside the fitness center.
Right. So much less of an emphasis on that. And really it was, here's a space, come on in and use it. Right. I think that really kind of talks about it in a nutshell. So let's fast forward to today. I'll call it modern fitness and wellness spaces. What do they look like? I'm sure that's been impacted by how the workplace has changed as well. So what do we see now?
It has. The workplace has really changed how we're looking to design new fitness centers. One, it's something that's very growth oriented and looking future. You're not just trying to populate a space for today. You're trying to populate it for the next 3 to 5 years. And so the spaces we're seeing today are very open, very flexible, very multi-purpose, great sight lines, areas where you can do functional training with racks and rigs and hang bags and hang suspension trainers, anything to give multi-use for programming. Give the staff and your team on site a chance to engage more with our clientele and our members. And it really gives an opportunity to design flex spaces that can change and aren't dictated by the 4 walls that are surrounding it.
Yeah. So it really has moved away from that traditional thing. And I know the equipment itself is evolving as well. I know you've talked about in the past how treadmills have changed and other pieces of equipment. What are some aspects of what's changing in the equipment itself?
So we'll hit treadmills here. 3 to 5 years ago, we did not have wireless charging. And so everyone needed to bring a cord in to plug in their iPhone and to charge it. And now every single manufacturer has a console with wireless charging. So no more cords. That's been a neat upgrade. Some of the things on a treadmill side are slatless and motorless. So you could have a slatted treadmill that you generate your own gait and your own speed. And so that gives you the opportunity to not think about having to plug that treadmill in everywhere. You can move it. It can be part of a high intensity training program. It can be part of a CrossFit program. You can move it wherever you wanted and get more programming skills out of that. The rest of
Right.
the equipment has just constantly been evolving with technology. We now
Yeah.
have strength that is virtual with screens on it that tell you how many reps you're lifting and how many
Mm-hmm.
sets and things like that. So it's been a great growth aspect of that. Some of it has been really good because we've seen the outgrowth of leasing so that you can have equipment for a shorter amount of time. Instead of purchasing
Right.
something for a 6 or 8 year period, you could lease equipment for 24 months or 36 months. And at the end of the day, then roll it out and roll in stuff new that's got the brand new technology on it. It's pretty neat.
Right. Well, and it's funny. I remember when I ran a fitness center many, many moons ago, I know the equipment vendors would say, you want to keep your technology separate from your equipment. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
now you can't find a piece of equipment without technology on it, which is
that's
a
so
great
true.
evolution, of course, right? But I
Yeah.
think also when we think about design, which you're our pro at, it used to be you have a cardio space, you have a strength space, and if you're lucky, you get that stretching area.
Yeah.
Really was more of an afterthought than anything. So now I know you're creating a whole experience around recovery and things like that. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it really is about trying to engage and have experiences for the members when they come in. We
Yeah.
are doing recovery spaces not only out on the exercise floor with small percussion guns and things like that, to a
Mhm.
dedicated recovery room that has a massage table or a chair or a bench. And
Right.
being able to have dual aspects of that so someone can come in and just do a recharge for 20 or 30 minutes, or actually at the end of their treadmill workout, grab a portable piece and get some recovery as well. The functional areas are changing as well. Function means movement. And so with
Right.
movement, you have to have open space. So we're looking at taking out some of the equipment that we can now have smaller footprints on. Technologies help with that aspect of it.
Mhm.
And it's given us the opportunity to replace some of the older stuff with new innovative stuff that gives us a lot more space.
All right. So, John, what is your advice to leaders for either creating a new space or repurposing existing spaces? I know our clients are keeping you busy with so many new projects, whether they're building out a new building or they're expanding existing spaces or just want a new, fresh look. Talk to me about what you know there.
So it's really about trying to design engagement and trying to bring out the culture of our clients. Back
Hmm.
in the day, we had clients that would tell us that their members could only come in and work out at 6 a.m., at noon, or at
Right.
after work. And with the changing workplace and the environments that are on campuses now, we're seeing that we want our members to come in at 10 o'clock and take a recovery session, or come in at 2 o'clock
Mhm.
and play a little
Yeah.
volleyball. And the corporate clients that adopt that culture and live by that are the ones that are having the most successful programs.
Yeah. I think about fitness centers back in the day. They were very similar, same shapes. Now when I go in, it's truly is that experience that you were talking about. I did have the pleasure of seeing one that you had redone recently. Client many years ago I'd been in, and I walked in, I said, this is not the same space. Like you had just done so many different design elements. I saw a garage door in there that helped you expand how you could
Mm-hmm.
push more people into a space. Just the flow of the facility was really impressive. So I know you tend to look at each client individually and make sure that you're addressing their needs. You told me about one client yesterday when we were just chatting that was their focus was running. Can you tell a little bit our audience a little bit about that? Because I thought that was a really fun pivot that you did, knowing all those things.
Sure. They are a sports retail company, and we
Mm-hmm.
manage for their headquarters. And going in, based on a square foot marker, we know how many treadmills or how many bikes will fit into a cardio space. And we preloaded it with the normal formula, and then realized before we placed the orders that this was a running company. They were a corporate sponsor for marathons and great races.
Right.
And so we had to double the amount of treadmills based on their running culture. And
Right.
ever since that day, I've never seen another site that has that many treadmills per square foot than any other site. But the members love it. It's what they do. We've embraced their culture. And it,
Right.
it really is not a cookie cutter approach. It's looking at each individual client and figuring out the identity of them, what makes them tick, what their culture is, and designing
Yeah.
the space that's specialized for them.
When I think about we talked about engagement right out of the gate today. And I think about when clients are looking to us to help them design a space. I know we had a client that had an architect that was not from a fitness mindset, I would say, building a whole brand new headquarters building. And one of the things they did was they were so proud to show us the drawings of what the fitness center would look like. And you'd walk in, and it was a massive piece of strength training equipment that I don't even think I would know how to use. And I do this industry, right? I'm in this industry.
Right.
And we said, if there's anything you could think of, is to let's think of a more welcoming entrance, because people that we're trying to attract in here, of course, they're avid exercisers, but there's also those hesitant beginners out there that will look at that and go, this is not the place for me. So what are some of the design aspects, John, that you think of when you think about getting someone right in the door? Like what's an engaging entrance?
So one of the things we look at right away is we use the operations perspective. We manage
Mm-hmm.
fitness centers every day. We're in the sites. We're talking
Right.
to our members, our clients, our on-site associates. We're all in there together. And we're looking at traffic patterns and flows and space adjacencies and all those things. But really, when you walk in the front door, you want to have a greeting by a front desk team that is engaging, is
Yep.
there, is welcoming. And then we've talked about some of the things that they've talked about in the restaurant business, front of house and back of house. A front
Yeah.
of house is an area where employees don't have to be a member, can come in, engage in the fitness center, but maybe they're coming in for just a recharge or a recovery, or maybe they're coming in for a nutrition seminar. And the front of the house gets them into the open space right when you walk in the door, but it doesn't have them meandering through the bowels of the entire fitness center.
Yeah.
That's more the back of the house where the staff is, where group exercise is, where the class schedules and all that stuff are. So we try to look at it about how we can bring folks into the fitness center. And then once you're a member, you get all the aspects kind of behind the scenes as you get further into the site.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, John, what am I missing? I know you just got back from the Health and Fitness Association's annual trade show. I know you saw tons of things there. What else can you tell the audience?
It really is about trying to capture as much of the small boutique feel, the lights, the sound,
Mm-hmm.
the movement, the energy, and transporting that into our corporate wellness and corporate fitness sites.
Mm-hmm.
They are drastically changing because all those folks that are in there working out are also still having those memberships outside at those commercial clubs. And so when we first started, we kept the separation, and now we're realizing it's okay to have that. And so they're asking for the lighting that's
Yeah.
energizing and the music and things like that. So we continue to talk to our clients. We continue to talk to our industry experts. We continue to look at what our architects are designing and make sure it functions, but make sure it's fun and it's
Yeah.
engaging and it's an experience for the members, not just showing up to work out like a task like it used to be.
Well, that sounds like the perfect place to end. And I will have one more question for you, a couple of questions for you. I have a quickie quiz. So let
Okay.
me ask you, how are you taking care of yourself lately? So, what is your favorite form of workout right now?
So, Ann, like you've been around and worked out forever, the joints don't work out like they used to. I
No, they
used to do
don't.
powerlifting. I used to do running. I can't do either of those anymore. But I've been doing walking on a treadmill. I walk my dog every day at lunch. And on the treadmill, I do the 12% grade, 3 mile per hour, 30 minute
Okay.
workout. And it's pretty tough, but it's a
Yeah.
great workout. It gets the sweat going, which is awesome.
All right. What is your favorite healthy snack?
Not really into like power bars or anything like that, but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
really much a sweet person. But I'll tell you what, in the middle of the afternoon when I need a little pickup, Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue jerky is phenomenal.
Really? I've
Couple
never heard
pieces
of
of
that.
that
Okay.
and a few pieces of cheddar cheese, and I'm ready to go for the rest of the afternoon.
I have to check that out. All right. My last question for you is, what is your favorite form of recovery or way to recharge?
I have a percussion gun. I've got a sphere. I use those almost
Mm-hmm.
after every workout. But I also think that, at least for me, music is something that helps me kind of recharge and reset. So I laugh at myself sometimes. I can't remember what my next appointment is or what the name of the person I met yesterday, but I can remember the lyrics of a Tom Petty song from 1979, And so I always try to stop in the afternoon a little bit, and I'll just take a 6 or 8 minute break and play 2 songs on my laptop, and just let
That's great.
myself kind of close my eyes and kind of recharge a little bit. And when I come back out of it, I'm ready to attack the rest of my day.
Oh, I love that. Well, that is perfect. Thank you so much, John, for stopping by and giving all your expertise. I know that you're serving so many great clients of ours and helping them really transform their spaces and really make them much more inviting and engaging. So appreciate that from you. And thank you to our audience for listening in. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe, and we'll see you next episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found today's discussion both thought-provoking and enjoyable. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe and share this episode with your colleagues and friends. We'd really love for you to stay connected with us. Until next time, take care, stay active, and stay curious.